Begin.
Well, Smiles from Black Film and TV. Hey, KeKe, how's it going?
It's good. Good to see you again.
Yeah, we spoke during Sundance. Now we're talking one-on-one. You're on board on this movie as one of the D-star and executive producer. So what was the catalyst to saying yes to taking on this project?
I think the fact that it was a different narrative or a different perspective of a slave story in a historical story at that, that tapped on information that I don't think is widely known, which is that slavery was around after its abolishment up until the 1950s and the 1960s. I think that's important. And then also that I got an opportunity to play a character that existed in historical context that was not the kind of character that we usually see, which is often just, drowned in victimization and powerlessness, but instead empowered and, taking her knowledge of her history and using it as something that empowers her. I think it's important for the younger generations to also see how to do that, because I think it's easy for us to kind of take that history and feel oppressed by it or to feel shamed by it. And it's really up to us to decide how we wish to feel about it. So to see Alice, somebody who actually endured it, decide to feel empowered and resilient by it, I think it's important for us to see stuff like that.
Everybody always wants to say another slave movie, but for you, when you take on this role and with actors, I always ask them, what is it you do to embody yourself in a character? Like, how do you get into it? Is there parts of the character that you can relate with? Or if not, how do you want to get deep into it so that you're emotionally involved?
Yes, I think I'm very naturally empathic. So it's easy for me to kind of, I'm always that person of, why did they do that? Or, how did they feel when that happened? I'm always, and then my imagination takes me there. It's just kind of always been who I've been, or maybe it's just because I started performing so young. So I think for me, it's kind of a natural process of deciding to look at what's there and digesting and analyzing and taking my own experiences or taking my own experiences with other people and seeing how other people exist when they just discover something, or when they're afraid, or when they're dealing with trauma, or when they're overcoming, and taking aspects of those things and creating my own personal nuances for any character. It's a collection of many things.
Mm-hmm. You're working opposite Khan, who's playing Frank, but how was working with him and then dealing with the 70s? How much of the 70s did you explore? Obviously, there's the Pam Grier movie and everything else during that time period.
Oh my gosh, working with Common was incredible. He is Frank. He is that kind of spirit that just creates a safe space that has so much knowledge and that shares it just effortlessly. And it's somebody that you can just feel, you can just feel close to, you know what I mean? Somebody that you trust. So working with him was incredible. And then obviously the 1970s era, it was wonderful to explore it. It was wonderful to kind of dig back into those movies and that music and everything like that, while still making sure that I didn't get too excited about the era and end up changing Alice's dialect and conversation too much, because while she is in the 1970s, she is not from that era, so I had to make sure that I was able to maintain the reality of who she's always been as she exists in this space.
I've watched you for so many years, and each role you keep growing, which is great. So that way, when we talk the next time on your next project, we'll see more evolutions coming out of you. So have yourself a great day, and it's good talking to you.
It's great talking to you too. Thank you.
Bye.